All right, Rams fans, fantasy football fans, and bettors alike, this is the video you've been waiting for, at least based on the algorithm and the analytics last week. It would support it, but the Rams backfield video. And I think there's a chance we do see Myles Gaskin. I think there's a chance we do see Zach Evans a little bit this week against a Dallas defense that has done well against the run. But I definitely would not expect to see him much in this game. Not a lot anyway. So the Rams split all the running back snaps last week with Henderson and Freeman. Both backs had success in the run game and in pass pro. I actually have all the numbers in front of me, so I'm going to give you guys those numbers. So rushing, Darrell Henderson, 18 carries for 61 yards and a touchdown, including 43 yards after contact. And Royce Freeman had 12 carries for 66, including 46 yards after contact. At first glance, Freeman had the more productive day, but I'll get into why that's actually a little bit of a misleading thing. Freeman did play well, no doubt about it. But when you look at the defensive looks, 8 in a box, Royce Freeman had that 0% of the time, 8 and more in the box. So he had lighter fronts, and because of that, it's easier to run against that. Whereas they stacked the box for the first time that any defense has stacked the box against the Rams since week 1 against Cam Akers. They stacked it 16.67% of the time when Darrell Henderson was in at running back, according to Next Gen Stats. And I think that definitely needs to be accounted for. But also, just think about this. Darrell Henderson had 18 carries for 61 yards, and Royce Freeman had 12 carries for 66. Royce Freeman hadn't had a snap this year on the offensive side, just special teamer. And Darrell Henderson hasn't played since last year. So to come off five days after signing a contract and take over the backfield, because I did report that he was going to start, and I did report that he got the majority of the first team reps, and he did, even on the practice squad. So I know people are upset or they're a little concerned, like, hey, what's the deal? Henderson went on the practice squad on Monday. He was automatically reverted there. That's what happens after the week. You get reverted back to the practice squad unless you're called up to, of course, the active roster and signed to the 53. The Rams have no need to do that. This helps their cap. They don't need to sign him to the full deal yet, and they'll do that probably after the first 3 weeks, because you can elevate a practice squad player 3 weeks and then you have to sign him to the 53, or you can't move him from the practice squad again, in which Darrell would likely be signed by another team off of the Rams practice squad. So not worried about that. I just want to make that very clear. In the receiving game, Henderson caught 1 of 2 targets for 5 yards. He had 11 routes run. Freeman caught 0 targets for 0 yards, had 7 routes run. We saw this. This wasn't utilized. I don't think they utilized the receiving game enough with the running backs. They just really have been just throwing bubble screens to Puka Nacua, and it just hasn't been working for whatever reason. So, that's that. The premium touches here are the important thing for any fantasy football or any time touchdown better. Darrell Henderson had two carries in the premium touches. What I mean by premium touches, anything in the red zone where you can score. Darrell Henderson had 3 touches, but 2 carries, and he scored a touchdown. Royce Freeman did not have a touch in the red zone. Inside the 10, Darrell Henderson has 45 carries for his career, 13 touchdowns, and he caught 4 out of 7 receptions for 2 touchdowns, and he's averaging 2.2 yards per carry inside of that 10-yard line in the red zone. And Royce Freeman has 27 carries, 7 have gone for touchdowns, and he's caught on one target. He's caught 1 pass for a touchdown, but he's 1.4 yards per carry average. Look, the Rams are going to run the ball Sunday. They have to run the ball Sunday. Dallas is 18th in rushing defense this year, and so I think that's really an important thing right now. They're giving up the 18th most yards per game. The Rams are 11th in rushing the last 3 games. There's been definitely a shift here for the Rams in terms of running the football, and they're 6th in yards per carry the last 3 games. So what do I take away from this? What do I make of this? Well, Sean McVay knows. He went through, you learn more in your losses than you do in your wins. They ran the ball 30 times, and they had a lot of success doing it. That does not mean you're going to stop running the football, What that means is that, okay, if 30 wasn't enough, maybe go 37. If that means you have to incorporate a Myles Gaskin this week, or you have to incorporate a Zach Evans, then so be it. But I want to be very clear as to why Zach Evans did not play a snap last week. First off, the game was not a gimme. They were never at any point in garbage time situations. That game was always a game. And because of that, you need your guys in pass protection. The Rams had to throw the ball. It was a big part of their game plan to test the Steelers' defense, and it didn't work extremely well. It worked at times. They got a lot of explosives, but they only had one red zone drive, which went for a touchdown. So the key here is that the reason why Zach Evans didn't get on the field is because Zach Evans is not great in pass protection. If you heard me say that before, okay. But I also get a lot, Jake, why didn't he run on first and second down? Not those passing downs on third down. Well, think about this. And I'm not saying I agree with it all the time, because I'm sure there are times where Matthew Stafford checks out of plays that would work, But Matthew Stafford checks out of runs. Quite often, I might add. And when you're checking out of a run, you can't be limited to who's already on your personnel, because you can't just send a guy off the field at that point. You can't be like, oh, hey, by the way, I'm checking out of this run. Zach, can you go to the sideline because we don't trust you? It does not work that way. So if Zach Evans was already on the field, Stafford would have to check out of that run, or you just have to let the thing go. And even if he has a really good play where he knows, okay, I see a mismatch here, let's check out of this run, let's go into a shotgun, and let's throw the ball, he can't do that. And so that's the thing that limits them. But Darrell Henderson and Royce Freeman both did well in pass pro. Henderson had 6 reps in pass pro, didn't give up a pressure, had a hell of a blitz pickup that saved Stafford's life, ended up going for a first down run. And Royce Freeman had 7 reps, and he did give up a pressure, but he did have a 92.9 efficiency rating, which isn't great, but it's a limited bunch of snaps. I thought Freeman played well for the most part. I was really impressed, though, with Henderson, who the question was, is he going to be ready to be in these game situations? Hasn't played since last year, just signed with the XFL. Like, what does that mean? And then he signs with the Rams, and then 5 days later, he's starting, and he's on the video board and everything. So, look, I think, once again, Sean McVay, without saying it, admitted to it. He should have kept Henderson last year. He fits what they need in the offense. He's a great fit. It's not to say he's the best running back in football, but it is to say when you need a guy who does everything that you require for your offense, a guy that just gets it, Henderson's that guy. Royce appears to be that guy. The irony is that Royce kind of feels like the Malcolm Brown this year of this offense, who, of course, was reunited with the Rams last year. I think both of them get a big run this week. I think Henderson starts again, and I think they just kind of go back and forth. But I think there is a chance that if Henderson shows more and he gets the conditioning down, because there is, of course, that question mark, how long can you keep him going, knowing that, look, like he hasn't played in a year. Last week was his first action. I don't know. 18 carries, by the way, in case you were wondering about him getting carries. 18 happens to be the third most carries in his career. And he got that after just signing with the Rams and not playing at all this year and haven't not played in a year. So that's saying a lot. I think the Rams trust him a lot. I think now with, of course, Kyren Williams and Ronnie Rivers going on IR, I think this is I said it all last week. This is a golden opportunity for Darrell Henderson to carve out a ridiculously big role in this offense. And what we're already seeing is he's up for the challenge. He's great in pass pro. Guy was being utilized in the receiving game. If Stafford doesn't airmail that first, the dump off, he might have had some yards there. The other pass set him up for the goal line rush. That's another thing. Guy punches it in. He has a nose for the end zone. So if you are a fantasy football owner or whatever, and you're thinking about trading away Henderson, maybe sell high if this is considered high, but I think it's going to get higher. I think he has a chance to have a really good game against Dallas. You have to also keep this in mind, okay? Dallas is not going to stack the box like Seattle did, like the Steelers did at times. Dallas is seeing that passing attack on film. They're seeing Puka Nacua. They're seeing Cooper Kupp. They're seeing those guys, Tutu Atwell, and they're like, I don't know if I want those guys to beat us over the top. So they're going to have a heavy emphasis on stopping a very pass-happy offense. And the key here is for the Rams to come out and run the damn ball. And I think they're going to do that. So for the bettors out there, I like Darrell Henderson once again, anytime touchdown. I think it's a really good fit. I'll have a full-on betting video for the Rams-Dallas game later on in the week. But right now, I don't know what the odds are. Take Darrell Henderson anytime touchdown. Royce could also find the end zone, but I'm definitely going to stick with Henderson there as the anytime. I'm going to take both of them over their whatever ends up being their yard total. I think the Rams are going to have a heavy dose of running the football. It's going to open up the passing attack. And that's how I see it. I think Evans gets a few snaps. We might see Gaskin. I think after the bye, they could use Gaskin a little bit in that Seahawks game. They could use him in Green Bay. But, I think he's somebody that will have a role. I think Zach Evans is more of a long-term guy, that he does have that explosiveness that can kind of intrigue you to kind of put him in a couple plays, see what he can do. But right now, this is the Freeman and Henderson show, and I don't see it changing. So adjust accordingly. If Freeman's available in your league, he's more touchdown dependent, but he is a good running back based on what we saw last week. He's worth a pickup if you can, but I think Henderson is the start, in fantasy. I think for Rams fans, just expect those two. And I think when it comes to betting, I think anytime touchdown, Darrell Henderson, but I think both go over their yards total. Keep in mind, the yards total isn't going to be super high, okay? Everyone saw them split time last week. Sean McVay's tendencies to get away from the run. And then furthermore, this is the Dallas Cowboys defense. So I think Vegas is going to be a little skeptical on how well they're going to do. I think I'm going to project Darrell Henderson's will be at 41.5 and Royce Freeman's will be at 39.5 or something like that. I'll take them both. I think the Rams are going to go over 100 yards on the ground, and that's the only chance of them winning this game. And by the way, they need to win this game. But also, furthermore, I like them more on the road. So I think there's a very good chance of them winning this football game, but it has to come with the run. They ran it 30 times last week. They ran it a ton the second half against Arizona. So I'm just going to go with the fact that I believe they are going to run this football, and we're going to see a good performance out of both of them. But that's all I got for you guys. Let me know in the comments section what you guys think. But if you're a fantasy football owner, definitely keep Henderson. Definitely check in on Royce Freeman. And if it's a dynasty league, keep Zach Evans and Myles Gaskin in mind. But that's going to do it for me. I'll see you guys soon. Later, folks.
Start playing Pick'em or Weekly Fantasy for any sport today, Jake. Users will receive a 100% deposit match up to $100 if they use promo code OTE at sign up. Start playing Pick'em and Weekly Fantasy Football today with Underdog Fantasy.
Do you love talking about the Rams, the NFL, or just want to be a part of a community? Join my free Discord server today. We're over 800 members. We got 24/7 live chat, a level 3 boosted server, the ability to call into JE Live, playing online games with us on Kick streams, toggleable alerts for when I go live on YouTube or Kick so you don't miss a live stream, and exclusive giveaways. Click the link in the description, the comments section, or the link that comes up in the video to learn more and join today.